All right, guys, welcome to First and Goal. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so this is week 12. We're not that far off from concluding the ending of the regular season for the 2020 football season. So, look, this Thursday we had what's it called? Thanksgiving football games. I gotta say, the Thanksgiving football games, they really need to do some type of a fixing with that because now here's why. For tradition, you have naturally the Cowboys and the Lions. Lions always get the first game. Cowboys always get the 4:30 slot. But if I'm Roger Goodell, can we please get these two teams out of here? All right. I'm gonna go hard on the Lions on why they need to get off Thanksgiving games as opposed to the Cowboys, and here's why. One, I could care less about both teams, right? Two, Cowboys generate more ratings. More ratings create more money, right? How many people do you know that are Lions fans outside of Michigan? You tell me that. I'll wait. I'll wait. I don't know any, all right? Lions fans, right, mainly reside in the great state of Michigan, mainly reside in Detroit. Cowboys fans, they're all over the country. Some even live in different countries. All right. They're the most, profitable, team. There's even some in Jersey. There's Cowboys fans in Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Florida, California. There's tons of them. They're very marketable. All right. Those 90s Cowboys teams, people still talk about it. America's team. Well, they haven't won a world title in over 25 years or something like that. The Lions, last time they won a playoff game was in 1991. I wasn't even born yet. So, look, the Lions ended up facing the Houston Texans, right? Matt Patricia, good defensive coordinator when he was with the Patriots. Horrible head coach, all right? And I'll get to Matt Patricia in just a second. The Houston Texans ended up doing a stomping on Detroit, right? Very well, much needed. I mean, when the Houston Texans did the right thing. They got rid of Bill O'Brien. He made the stupidest trade possibly of all time, trading away easily a top two, if not maybe the best wide receiver in all of football for pretty much a ham sandwich. Ended up getting a second round pick and the remains of Dave Johnson. And Houston, thank God for Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson, had a throwing party over there. Threw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdown passes. 2 of them ended up going to Will Fuller. Will Fuller had a phenomenal game. And Detroit had no answer. Last time I checked, it was the score was 41 something. Houston ended up scoring 41 points. I think Detroit had 25, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check that for you guys. 41-25 Houston. And it was well needed. But getting back to Matt Patricia, like I said, that guy, he got the job, right? He won, 3 Super Bowl titles when he was in New England as a defensive coordinator. Did a really good job. I mean, some people said that it was Bill Belichick behind the whole defensive schemes. Other people said that it was Matt Patricia. Whatever it is, Matt Patricia had the title as defensive coordinator. But, man, the Lions finally did something right. They finally did something right. They got rid of Matt Patricia. They got rid of Bob Quinn, who was running GM of the Detroit Lions. You need a clean house. They got rid of Jim Caldwell, who had actually a pretty good record as a head coach for the Detroit. All right, not many head coaches have done a good job. I mean, you had Rod Marinelli, who was 0-16. All right, the first team ever to go 0-16, and then that very next year they ended up drafting Matt Stafford, who to me seems to be the Detroit Lions' best quarterback. And that's not saying much. I mean, Matt Stafford is very overrated. Very overrated. I know others, seem to, pat him on the back, but He pads a lot of stats, in my opinion. So they got rid of Bob Quinn. They got rid of Matt Patricia. They're gone, right? Now Detroit needs to figure out. They have to figure out a plan. Who's going to be their next new GM, and then who's going to be their head coach? Ideally, you should have to get a GM first, so then that new GM can pick out their head coach. Don't pick out a head coach and then get a new GM. It doesn't work like that. It's never going to work like that. Anyways, so Detroit ended up losing, and thank God that they ended up losing. It's one more loss closer to getting them out of Thanksgiving Day. All right. The NFL really needs to, look at this and be like, why are we having the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day? All right. They're a sorry franchise. Yes, they are a sorry franchise. They're one of the few teams that I can easily say that they're a sorry franchise. They're in the same category as the New York Knicks. All right. Same category as the New York Knicks. A sorry, disgraceful franchise. All right. Nobody wants to go see them play. All right. The only reason why they're, people go watch them play is because, maybe like it was their dad's favorite team or whatever. But a sorry franchise. They need to get kicked off of the Thanksgiving Day slot. Give that to, the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Green Bay Packers. Fans that actually exceed out of that region. All right. I know plenty of Packer fans. All right. I had a boss who was a Packers fan, and that's all he does is reps Packers. I know plenty of Pittsburgh Steelers fans here in the metropolitan area in New York and New Jersey. All right. You need to get rid of the Detroit Lions out of Thanksgiving. All right. I don't know too many people that really care for watching Detroit. The only time I see people trying to tune in is if one, their team is facing Detroit, or two, it's on Thanksgiving Day. That's about it. And yeah, maybe fantasy football, but that's outside the realm. Moving on. So now you have the Cowboys facing the Washington football team. Now, whoever wins this game was going to get sole possession of first place at that very moment, right? Keyword, at that very moment. The Dallas Cowboys, yes, they ended up losing Dak Prescott for the year. I think he had a fractured ankle. But you have Andy Dalton, who is a very serviceable backup. And the Cowboys look pathetic. You have that trio with Amari, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb, and you get whooped. I don't know if it's Mike McCarthy. I don't know if it was Andy Dalton. I don't know if it's Jerry Jones, but something is going on in Jerry World over there in Dallas, Texas, because it looks bad. It looks really bad. All right. Getting a beating on national television with everybody tuning in. All right. I know everybody tunes in to watch the Cowboys play, whether they love them or they hate them. And they got the brakes beaten off of them. All right. By Washington, who's not a really good team, but they have a really good head coach who is steering them into the right direction. Antonio Gibson rushing for 3 touchdowns, all right, rushing for over 100 yards. On top of that, over 20 yards receiving. That is the game right there. He's the first rookie since Randy Moss to do that type of stuff. And the Cowboys got embarrassed. They got embarrassed. I mean, I would feel embarrassed if I was a Cowboys fan. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones, pulls a plug on Mike McCarthy at the end of the year. Don't be surprised, guys. Do not be surprised. All right. Now, I said it's week 12. It's Sunday, right? You had the Jets and the Giants. Another sorry franchise, the Jets. The Jets. They fall down 0-10 against. They fall 0-10 against the Dolphins. All right, the Dolphins are having a really good year, led by Tua, led by Brian Flores. All right, and they fall 0-10. I don't know what is it with the Johnson family, Woody Johnson, Chris Johnson. All right, they're letting this fool Adam Gase destroy their product on the field, destroy their product. A lot of these guys don't even want to play for Adam Gase. They really don't want to play for Adam Gase. I wouldn't want to play for him. I mean, all you got to do is just rewind tape and look back at that press conference. This guy looked high. I don't know if he smoked weed or anything like that. This guy looked high, and this guy did not look like he had any interest whatsoever on taking the job. And look what you have. Didn't really care for Le'Veon Bell. A year later, Le'Veon Bell gets let go. Didn't care for the GM. They let go of the GM. Now this guy's running the helm. All right. Your best player at the time, what's his name? Jamal Adams, didn't want to even play for the team. Didn't want to play for the coach because he knew this guy sucked. This guy was part of a winning culture in LSU. Now he's with Seattle, and they're winning. They're going to make the playoffs. I mean, when does Seattle not make the playoffs? This guy, Adam Gase, is a cancer. This guy is a disease. Why is it that the Johnson family, the ownership of the Jets, get rid of this guy? It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Get rid of this guy. All right? You're ruining Sam Darnold's career. You're going to tank for Trevor Lawrence? For what? For him to be in the same position that Sam Darnold's in? Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, in my opinion. He just doesn't have the weapons or the right coaching. Get rid of Adam Gase. All right? This guy's destroying everybody's career. All right? Frank Gore could have had, a better season if Adam Gase wasn't behind the helm. Sam Darnold could have had a better season if Adam Gase wasn't behind the helm. All right? You gave me what receivers are you giving him? Bernard Perriman? Bernard Perriman is easily a number 3 receiver, not your number 1. You could have got Nelson Aguilar in in free agency. You could have paid for some of these top guys, all right? You guys don't do it. You guys just simply don't do it. And then as for the Giants ended up winning their 3rd straight game. They took advantage of the situation that was in front of them. They had to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati was out doesn't have Joe Burrow for the rest of the year. So Brandon Allen's ended up taking his spot right now as starter. He bounced around. He served as a backup of Jared Goff a couple years ago, so that's how Zach Taylor knows him. And started it off. First drive, Daniel Jones, was, throwing darts. Ding, 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 ding. Just throwing darts. Ended up, throwing a 53-yard bomb to Evan Ingram. Was this close from getting into the touchdown. Couple plays later, Wayne Gallman drives in, bull rushes his way into touchdown. 7 points right off the bat. Next drive, they kick the ball off. Grangano kicks it off to Brandon Wilson. Brandon Wilson zigzags his way in. Kickoff return touchdown. We're tied 7-7. But the Giants took advantage of what they had to do. Unfortunately, Danny Jones had to leave the game due to a hamstring injury. I don't know if he pulled it or it popped or anything like that. I don't know how much time he might have to miss. It's very crucial. They won 3 games in a row. They're officially now in first place, leading the NFC East. We will know more on Tuesday morning to see who wins, because the Philadelphia Eagles are facing the Seattle Seahawks. But the Giants got the win, but they ended up experiencing a loss due to the fact that now Daniel Jones left the game. And then, we had Tampa Bay versus Kansas City. I believe this is meeting number 4 between Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. The first 2 times, actually, Tom Brady got the better hand of Patrick Mahomes. It was in the regular season the first time, and then that second time was in the postseason. That infamous game that they ended up having that went back and forth. Patrick Mahomes was a pre-snap penalty away from making the Super Bowl. If Dee Ford did not jump offside, Kansas City would have been in the Super Bowl facing the LA Rams that year. But instead, Tom Brady did. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. That third time, Patrick Mahomes beat Tom Brady. And then this time, what a way to start off that first quarter. What was it called? Tyreek Hill ended the first quarter with 7 receptions, over 200 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. The guy on my fantasy league who had him ended up having easily 35 points to start off the first quarter. Ridiculous. Kansas City ended up winning that game. Mike Evans on Tampa Bay scored 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady's 3 touchdown pass performance was simply not enough for Kansas City's, onslaught that he had going on offense. But Kansas City's just way too good, way too good. They won 27-24. Kansas City is just that unstoppable right now. Even though Pittsburgh is still currently undefeated, right? Kansas City is the best team in football. They're simply just the best team in football. 10-1, simply unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes threw for over 450 yards. It was a 462 with 3 touchdown passes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ended up rushing for 37 yards. But the story was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill with 3 touchdowns, 269 yards receiving with 13 receptions. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Rob Gronkowski had 6 receptions for over 100 yards. You have Ronald Jones, scoring a touchdown. He has 66 yards of rushing, but it just simply wasn't enough. It simply wasn't enough. And then lastly, once again, we have Tuesday night football games. Yes, Tuesday night football games. Reason why? Too many people from Baltimore had COVID. They had to push the game back. Originally, that game was supposed to be on Thanksgiving Day. And they were like, all right, we're going to have to move it back. We'll just move it back to Sunday. Nope, that didn't work out because something with the networks, NBC was not going to be able to get all their viewerships. You always have the voice of Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth calling Sunday Night Football games, which I should be watching right now. But I'm doing this, guys, for you guys because you guys are my fans. And now those guys are going to be doing the game on Tuesday, which is great because more football, happy fans, right? Who doesn't love football? We have football on Thursday this week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 4 times in a week. Can't complain. Can't really complain. Only thing is most likely end up cutting out that Thursday night football game because there's no way, what's it called? Baltimore is going to end up facing the Cowboys on Thursday night football with just 1 day in between. Not a chance. That game is going to be moved towards Sunday. So the unbeaten Steelers are going to face the Baltimore Ravens for the second, if not the last time this season. Will Baltimore settle the score or will Pittsburgh walk out, still undefeated? All right, guys. Until then, thank you for watching First and Goal. I'm your host, Slava Oriana, and stay tuned for the next episode coming to you soon. All right, guys. Peace, guys. Have a good one.